Hey everyone, it's Pastor Brian Hockman from Grace in downtown Milwaukee. I pray that this message finds you being richly blessed by the Lord in His timing, in His way, and to the glory of His name. I'm recording this message for you today from my office in the Grace Center in downtown Milwaukee because it's cool in here. I thought that I had adjusted to a Wisconsin summer, but then it hit 80 degrees coming into early summer here, and apparently I need to continue adjusting a bit. But I'm enjoying the cool of the office. I hope that you're comfortable where you are. Now, faith is confidence in what we hope for and assurance about what we do not see. That's Hebrews chapter 11, verse 1, a cool passage that shares with us where God comforts us to know the gift of faith and what it means. It means that we can believe in whatever God tells us. It means that we can believe in His promises regardless of outside influences or situations or voices or temptations or whatever. We can be confident in what we hope for. We can be assured about things even if we don't see them or know how exactly they're going to play out. If you've been following along with the church year calendar, and I bet at this part of the church year you have been, you know that we're right smack dab in the middle of the 10-day period between Jesus' ascension and between Pentecost Sunday. We were told that Jesus ascended into heaven 40 days after the resurrection, and so that's a Thursday. Last Thursday was the Festival of Ascension. If you missed it, we've got a video of each of the pastors doing a devotion on our YouTube channel. Check it out for some Ascension worship. And then Pentecost is 10 days later, 50 days after Jesus rose from the dead. Jesus tells His disciples to stay in Jerusalem because He's going to pour out the Holy Spirit on them in rich measure, and that comes true, that promise comes true on Pentecost. That's going to be this coming Sunday, and the theme of our worship is Pentecost this coming Sunday. During this period, during Easter season in particular, and then even more narrowly during these 10 days between Ascension and Pentecost, my heart rejoices in the concept of the promises that God makes for us, and the knowledge, the assurance, the confidence that those promises will come true. Shortly before Jesus ascended, He gathered His disciples on the top of a mountain in Galilee and told them, "All authority in heaven and on earth has been given to me. Therefore go and make disciples of all nations, baptizing them in the name of the Father and of the Son and of the Holy Spirit, and teaching them to obey everything I have commanded you." And then He attaches a promise. "And surely I will be with you always to the very end of the age." He knew that a time was coming where He wasn't going to be visible among them, but yet He said, "I'm not leaving you. I'm not leaving you alone. I will be with you always to the very end of the age, the end of this world, and even into the world to come." Our God promises us that He will never leave us or forsake us. And that's a promise that stands true even when life gets difficult, even when the things around us don't look like God's keeping His promise. How can losing a job, how can a bad health report, how can a strained relationship, how can those things be for my good? We don't always know, we don't always see it, but we can be assured, we can have confidence because He's given us the faith to trust in His promises and to know that His ways are best. He promises us that He will work out all things for the good of those who love Him. How does He do that? We don't always see it. Sometimes we're blind to the purposes or plans of God, but faith can rest on the knowledge that He is in control and that He can and will and does keep His promises for us. He kept the promise as He sent out the Holy Spirit to those disciples on that Pentecost. He said, "Don't leave because this is what's going to happen," and then it happened. And we also can have the comfort of knowing that the promise that the angels made to the disciples is a promise that will come true for us. "Men of Galilee, why do you look into the sky?" the angels asked. "This same Jesus who has been taken from you into heaven will come back in the same way you have seen Him go into heaven." Jesus is leaving the realm that your eyes can see, but know the promise that He's still with you, and hear the promise that he will come back in a visible way. He'll come back to take you to be with him forever. He's preparing the place where we will spend an eternity with him, and we know that he's coming back. Those are invisible promises, but promises that we can be assured of, promises that we can put our hope in and stake our lives in, because our God is sure and certain and true. He's never missed on a promise yet, and he's not going to start now. He's with us, and he wants us to be with him forever. That's why he came and lived on this world for us. That's why he suffered and died in our place. That's why he rose from the dead, so that death couldn't hold us any longer. And that's why we can know with absolute certainty that he will come to take us to be with him, that everlasting life is ours with him, that he will be with us always to the very end of the age and beyond this age into the world to come. Everlasting life is ours in Jesus, my friends. Stake your trust in him, and let the joy of knowing that our God's promises are true fill your hearts and your lives today and to the very end of this age, knowing that the end of this age isn't the end, but that we have an everlasting life with Jesus. God be with you. Have a great day.